everyone's trying to figure out what's going on with the Niners. Diana Rossini, extremely connected with ESPN, was talking to someone off the record. She wouldn't say who. Someone with the Niners, high-ranking sources. What more do I need to say to make it clear that Trey Lance is our quarterback?
Sounds like a Kyle Shanahan quote to me.
It really does. To me, like the first thing that comes to mind is like, I don't know, maybe name him the starter publicly. That's an easy question. Like, thank you for that. Oh, that's a freaking layup. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think that quote it's actually huge, and it honestly sounds like a Kyle Shanahan response to like a question you would ask in a press conference, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, to me, that's huge. You know, that's huge news for these people that are still holding on hopes that Jimmy's going to be around, and you know, there are a few of them. But I think that quote right there kind of shuts them down. But you know, they seem to be relentless. You know, if they haven't taken the hints before, they're probably not going to give that much credence either. So we'll see.
I respect. It does sound like Kyle, and if it is Kyle, he's saying stuff like this. He at the owners' meeting said, there's a reason we try to trade Jimmy. He's doing his best he can to put his support behind Jimmy Garoppolo without coming out. His support behind Trey Lance without coming out and naming him the starter, which is an interesting balance to try to strike, and it's an ambitious thing to try to do. But to me, it's unnecessary. Just name the starter. What more do I make it clear? Make it clear. Don't say it off the record, because he didn't even say it off the record here, right? He's like asking a rhetorical question. Very clever. But we know what you're doing. You're hedging once again. There's a way to put this all to bed. If Kyle Shanahan came out today and was like, Trey Lance is our starting quarterback, do you understand how that would be big, big news? He hasn't done it yet. And I know he's saying he's our starter. He's implying it, but he's also giving himself an out. Like, I never actually said it. And I don't appreciate that.
You don't appreciate. Also, if you look at Kyle Shanahan, when has he ever really named the starter? Even when Jimmy was here, I mean, maybe he did in the beginning. Jimmy's our guy. I think he did say that. But there was the whole like last season. Who's he going to start against? Who was it? The Titans? Is that
week one?
Week one? No. There's week one, but then there was week 17.
Oh yeah, that was week 18 against the Rams. Yeah, he wouldn't say.
Yeah, so he has a history of not. He thinks it gives him some kind of advantage.
Sure,
I think, and he tries to hold out. So maybe that's just what it is. But I think it's clear based on everything. Trey is the guy. Jimmy's gone, one way or the other.
I think it's funny though that this again, which is probably Kyle. We're both assuming that, and he's very he's a bit of a troll. As one troll speaking for another troll. I think he's a bit like he kind of understands. What do you want me to say? You want me to say something? I'm not going to say it. Right. You want me to? I'm not going to do it. So everyone in the world is saying, name him the starter, and he's going to not name him the starter ever.
Right.
It'll be like week one. He's like, I'm not going to say it. You'll just see who's going to start week one. And that's good. That amuses him for whatever. Oh, the whole world needs me to say something. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Tell me what to do.
I don't think we'll know Trey's the starter until the game starts.
I agree. Until he's out there and Jimmy Garoppolo is on another team or inactive.
Right.
Yeah. I just think it's funny that Kyle gets so mad when people, whether it's me asking him a question in a press conference or someone coming up to him at Safeway asking who he's going to draft a quarterback. His whole attitude is like, leave me alone. Do not tell me what to do. In fact, if you tell me what to do, I'm going to do the opposite. I'll tell you right now. Anyway.
Yeah, that's Kyle.
That's Kyle. Mark says, fact is, they don't have to cut Jimmy until the day before the first game. Why not wait until a miracle happens if a team gets a sudden need? That's the way I look at it. They're going to hold out to the miracle. And the longer they wait is even better because that gives Jimmy's next team less time to prepare for him. Because remember, let's say he gets cut, signs with Seattle. He's playing in Levi's week 2 in Trey Lance's home opener. That'd be embarrassing if the Niners lost that game. They got to prevent that from happening.
That would be a disaster. And honestly, if we cut Jimmy right now, there would be several teams that would snatch him up at a lower, rate than what he's being paid right now, in my opinion. I think there'd be tons of people interested in him. Yeah. To be fair to him, he would be the best. I think he would be the best backup in the NFL. And maybe he could find even a starter position for a team that needs something. Somebody would grab him. Just nobody wants to grab him for $25 million in a draft pick.
He could probably start for Atlanta right now. If he were cut and you signed him for $5 million, he could start for Atlanta. He could probably start for Cleveland. He could start for Seattle. He could start for New York.
So, maybe they know they have to cut him, but they're, like you said, they're waiting because they don't want people to be able to, get him in the building and prepare for the season.
Prepare him. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Especially if they feel like bitter that Jimmy Garoppolo, not just the timing of the surgery, but the fact that he didn't tell him that he was going to do it. That's what John Lynch said. We were totally surprised. We didn't know. I think there's some bitterness there. They had a plan. They felt they could have got something of value for Jimmy, and now they can't get anything. Like, okay, we'll cut you at the very freaking end. Like, we're gonna facilitate something. You're gonna request a release, or we're gonna be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do the right thing here. Like, nah, sorry.
Yeah,
the right thing for us is to make sure you're not prepared to play against us week 2.
Right. And didn't they say that they haven't been in communication with Jimmy? Like,
that's right. Yeah. That doesn't sound like it's all hunky dory.
No, doesn't.
Lucky Luis says, Grant, what's going on with all the Rams fans on your show? I don't know. I feel like there's no Rams content out there, so they have to. Well, there's La Ramilia Sports Report who's killing it, but other than him, I think there's no one else. You may think they add some perspective, but they're really annoying and condescending. Sorry. I like having a rivalry about that. I mean, that's sports. What are you going to do? Block them?
Right. Yeah.
Bryant Cole says Jimmy has 2 rings as a backup. Maybe he should take a seat and win another. He is, I'm telling you, the best backup quarterback.
Yeah.
He motivates him. He's like a good caddy. And sorry. Shreddy Murphy, if Jimmy takes less and leaves, Niners sign Cam Newton. Anything's better than having Nate Sudfeld as your number 2, honestly. Is Cam into that? Would he be into it? Seems like he's pretty much made it clear he doesn't want to be a backup in the NFL.
I think Cam might. I honestly, I'm not convinced that the Niners aren't going to bring in another quarterback.
They need to.
I think they might.
They freaking need to, in my opinion, because quarterbacks get hurt every year on this team, except for the one year they went to the Super Bowl, and they've had, they haven't really had backups who could win until last year. No disrespect to the great Nick Mullins, the guy.
Yeah, and I'm not really convinced Nate Sudfeld is, an adequate backup. I have to see more of him. He's a monster size-wise.
He's had some good outings in the preseason, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's so different from Trey Lance. I'm not sure. I know that they love him in the same room, the QB room. I know he's a good friend of Trey Lance, so that all works in his favor. But I'm still not convinced we don't bring somebody else in, just as an insurance policy. And once we get rid of Jimmy,
you know how like a lot of Kyle's former players who weren't that good end up being his coaches, like Leonard Hankerson. Don't you kind of have a feeling that Nate Sudfeld, like they're really grooming him for a coaching spot more than a playing spot? That's the way.
Yeah.
So great. Yeah. That's fine. That's important. Kyle's great at developing coaches. He might be the best in the league. You need a backup quarterback. And if you put Nate Sudfeld on the practice squad, no team would sign. No people would be like, oh my God, Nate's available. Should we get him? Studfeld? No. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the things I was looking at with Kyle Shanahan. I just for fun, I was like, comparing Kyle to Bill Walsh, one of the things they have in common, and I'm not comparing the two yet. Obviously one's a Hall of Fame coach and one's not, but they both have done a great job of building a coaching tree of, coaches all across the league that started underneath them. So
you could argue that Kyle is better at coaching coaches than he is at coaching players. Like his scheme is excellent. His ability to develop coaches is unparalleled. Hasn't developed a quarterback yet. Maybe he is. Maybe he's in the process, but it's interesting. Interesting way to look at him.